Welcome to this week's look at the state of the New York City real estate market. This is for the week of June 3rd to June 9th. As always, I am going to be bringing you the very latest news on what is going on here in New York City in the real estate market, everything from the luxury market to the Manhattan market and the Brooklyn market. Then I'm going to wrap everything up. I'm going to give you my very best recommendations. If you are an active buyer or seller, you're going to want to stick around till the end of this report so you get the benefit of all those tips. We're going to get started now. There were 24 contracts signed in the luxury market last week. That is the same as the previous week. Remember, the luxury market in Manhattan means that these are properties that are priced at $4 million and above. The number one contract was Penthouse A at 36 Bleecker Street. It was asking $21 million. It was reduced from $22.5 million when it was listed in December. This is a duplex penthouse condo. It has 4,480 square feet. It includes 4 bedrooms and 5 bathrooms. Upstairs is a 28-foot great room, a library with a gas fireplace, and a solarium, which is flanked by 2 terraces that total almost 1,400 square feet. The bedrooms in this unit are downstairs, and this apartment is in a 6-story 20-unit condo building called the Schumacher. Originally, when it was built back in 1895, it housed a lithography business. Amenities include doormen, fitness center, storage, playroom, and a rooftop garden. The number 2 contract was the 3rd floor of 640 Park Avenue. It was asking $15 million. It was reduced from a whopping $24 million when it was listed back in July of 2021. This is a full floor co-op. It has 4 bedrooms, 2 staff rooms, 6.5 bathrooms, 6 fireplaces, and 10-foot ceilings. The living room, library, and formal dining room all face Park Avenue, and the amenities in this building include doormen and storage. This co-op board allows a maximum of 35% financing. The total weekly asking price sales volume, $193,345,000. Average asking price, $8,056,042. Median asking price, $6,200,000. Average discount from original ask to last asking price, 13%. Average days on the market, 711. Okay, any questions about the luxury market? Please post those below or reach out to me directly at Sotheby's. Okay, that's it for the luxury market. We're going to move on now to what happened last week in Manhattan. Well, as we head into the summer, we see that the supply in Manhattan is beginning to decline. 317 new properties came on the market last week. That is down almost 19%. Contracts signed got a little pop post-holiday. 218 for the week. That is up almost 14%. Off-market also rose almost 10%, 207. The supply down for the month 30%. 414 new properties. Contracts signed 879, down 12%, and off-market properties rose almost 47%, 677. Likely sellers beginning to anticipate that this spring market may not have held for them what they wanted it to, and they're going to take a break for the summer. This Market Pulse reading shows just a slight increase, less than 1% from last month, down almost 2% from last year. We are moving up a bit out of that swerve into the buyer's market from a neutral market. So we're kind of back up now into that more solidly neutral market. And the liquidity pace chart, this 30-day moving window of contract activity, shows 879, down almost 8% from last month, down over 20% from last year. This chart is interesting. Manhattan contracts signed by price range. If we look at the contract signed in Manhattan by price point, it shows the under $4 million market essentially just moving sideways, perhaps waiting for something to move the needle. We've been talking about this, right? The luxury market, the over $4 million price point, that has been moving right along. You can see it in this next chart. If we look at this Manhattan percentage change in average contract signed price since March of 2022, we can see that the more interest rate sensitive under 4 million market saw a slight drop in the average contract signed prices, while the over 4 million luxury market saw a considerable gain despite a significant rise in mortgage rates over this period. So what we're seeing is not only are we seeing kind of a more robust activity in terms of contracts being signed, we are actually seeing a percentage in the prices in the luxury market as well. Just a less price sensitive group, less interested in the mortgage rates, as I have been saying. Okay, that is it. From Manhattan, we're going to take a look now at what's going on in Brooklyn. Slightly different story there than Manhattan, so be sure you stick around for that. And then, as I said, I am going to wrap this up and give you my recommendations. If you are an active buyer or seller, you're going to want to stick around for those so that you can have them to help ensure your success. As with Manhattan, we are also seeing a decline in the inventory in Brooklyn. For the week, 223, down almost 9%. Contracts signed just as with Manhattan. Saw a little pop there post-holiday, even more than in Manhattan, almost 24%, 147 contracts signed in Brooklyn. For the week, off-market, 57. Interesting, unlike Manhattan, that is actually down, a little over 35%. The supply for the month in Brooklyn, 887, down a little over 13%. Contract signed, 571, down almost 13%. Off-market rose just under 14%, 248. If we look at the latest reading on this market pulse for Brooklyn, we'll see that it is, again, neutral, but moving more to favor the sellers. It is up just under a percentage point from last month, down a little bit, a little over 2% from last year. And if we look at the liquidity pace chart, this 30-day moving window for contracts signed, 571 for the last 30 days. That is down a little over 9% from last month and down a little over 17% from last year. The Brooklyn contract signed by price range. So while Brooklyn's activity remains at a lower level, the activity is slowly rising. Unlike Manhattan, it suggests that the seasonality is not quite affecting Brooklyn as much as it is Manhattan. So while we are kind of winding down the spring season in Manhattan, we may continue right along for the next few weeks anyway in Brooklyn with a more active market. That is it for Brooklyn. Now, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to give you the overview for what happened last week, and then I'm going to give you my recommendations for active buyers and sellers. Okay, any questions about the luxury market, please post those below or reach out to me directly at Sotheby's. So in the luxury market, same as last week, 24 contracts signed. 7 of those were in the trophy category properties, so properties priced at $10 million and above. And there were 17 condos, 6 co-ops, and 1 townhouse in that group. There were 17 uptown and 7 downtown. The conditions in Manhattan and Brooklyn are similar but slightly different. They are both fairly neutral for the most part, although Brooklyn does seem to be the stronger of the two. We can see that the supply has fallen now to about 7,416. That's likely it for inventory for Manhattan until the fall. We may see a little more trickle in, but that's about it. Brooklyn, it's kind of steady in terms of the inventory. We saw a decline there as well, but, in both Manhattan and Brooklyn, we are seeing a kind of a shortage of inventory. This has likely played a part in what has been going on in this rather sleepy spring market. If we look at the contracts signed, the Manhattan contract signed and the Brooklyn contract signed over the last week had a nice little pop post-holiday. However, the Manhattan contract activity seems to be a little more sluggish, kind of running slow, going sideways, call it what you will. Whereas Brooklyn seems to be a little more active. and may well indicate that the Brooklyn market may not be as tied to the normal seasonality and may extend beyond the usual spring market, whereas Manhattan may kind of, fizzle out in the next week or two. And whereas the Manhattan market may kind of just, wind up its spring market and kind of really slow down for the summer. If you are a seller, as I said, in Manhattan, the spring market does seem to be winding down. From the chart that I shared with you for both Manhattan and for Brooklyn, you can see that in Manhattan, the above 4 million, meaning the luxury market, is performing better than the below 4 million, both from a volume and a price point perspective. That probably is a little hard on the sellers in the under 4 million. And that means that you've got a more price sensitive audience in terms of the buyers. The question that I believe you need to be asking yourself, and it really is not too late if you want to get your deal done, there are always buyers. So if you don't want to wait, meaning you don't want to take your property off the market, you want to get your deal done now, you will have less competition because, as you can see in Manhattan, and even in Brooklyn to a certain extent, many sellers are taking their properties off the market and there's not a lot of new inventory coming on the market. So if you want to get a deal done, adjust your price and see if you can't engage the buyers that are out there. The other thing that you can do is take your property off the market and wait until the fall. We don't know what's coming in the fall. Time will tell. But that would be one thought. If you are a seller ready to go and you don't want to wait around, know that you have a little less competition now. You do have fewer buyers. However, you probably do have buyers that have been looking and they're probably a little frustrated that they haven't been able to find anything. So it might be worth a shot. If you can live with a lower price than you're at currently, there might be still a deal to be made for you. Buyers, as I said, you don't have a lot of inventory to choose from. You're not going to see a whole lot of new inventory coming on the market. The question you probably want to be asking yourself is there anything out there currently that interests you? If there is, you may want to try to make a deal with those sellers. They may be a little softened up. They may be willing to entertain prices that they had not previously been willing to entertain. You'll have to make those offers and see. The leverage that you will get in the market beyond that will likely be in Manhattan rather than Brooklyn. If you have any questions at all, please post them below, or of course, you can always reach out to me directly at Sotheby's. As always, my thanks to Urban Digs and to the Olsham Luxury Report. The work that they do helps me to help you to make great decisions. I'll be back next week with the very latest news on what's happening in the New York City real estate market. In the meantime, take care.